Your grandfather's tomato plants produced twice as much fruit as yours do today. And it wasn't because of better weather or luck. The old-timers knew secrets that modern gardening has forgotten. Tricks so effective, they're still outperforming expensive fertilizers and fancy equipment. Today I'm sharing 20 battle-tested hacks that can double your tomato harvest using nothing but common sense and materials you probably already have lying around your property. Hack number 1. The matchstick sulfur trick. Here's something that'll sound crazy until you try it. Old-time gardeners used to stick wooden matches headfirst into the soil around their tomato transplants. Not 1 or 2 matches. We're talking about 6 to 8 matches per plant, pushed down so only the wooden stem showed above ground. The sulfur from those match heads slowly released into the soil as they decomposed, and sulfur happens to be exactly what tomatoes need for strong cell walls and disease resistance. Your grandfather might not have known the science, but he knew his tomatoes stayed healthier and produced more fruit when he used this trick. Modern gardeners spend $20 on sulfur supplements when a box of matches costs $2 and does the same job. Push those matches down about 2 inches from the stem, water them in, and watch your plants develop that deep green color that means they're getting everything they need. Hack number 2. The Rusty Nail Iron Boost. Before chelated iron was available at the garden center, farmers dealt with iron-deficient tomatoes by hammering rusty nails into the ground around each plant. Sounds primitive, but it worked because rust is iron oxide, and as it breaks down in moist soil, it releases iron in a form that tomato roots can actually use. The key is using genuinely rusty nails, not galvanized or coated ones that won't break down properly. Old-timers would collect rusty nails from barn cleanouts and fence repairs, then drive them 6 inches into the soil in a circle around each tomato plant. You'll see the difference in about 3 weeks. Those yellow leaves with green veins, classic iron deficiency, start turning deep green as the plants access that slow-release iron. It's like giving your tomatoes a multivitamin that lasts all season long. Hack number 3, the baking soda sweetness secret. This one comes from commercial tomato growers in the 1940s who discovered that a light dusting of baking soda around tomato plants didn't just prevent fungal diseases, it actually made the fruit taste sweeter. The science behind it is simple. Baking soda reduces soil acidity slightly, and tomatoes produce more sugars when they're not fighting acidic conditions. The application is critical, though. You don't dump baking soda on your plants like you're putting out a fire. Instead, mix 1 tablespoon per gallon of water and apply it to the soil around the base of each plant every 2 weeks, starting when the first flowers appear. Commercial growers were getting premium prices for their sweeter tomatoes, while home gardeners wondered why their fruit tasted bland. The difference was often just this simple pH adjustment that cost pennies per plant. Hack number 4. The aspirin disease prevention method. Long before fungicides were common, farmers noticed that willow bark tea seemed to help sick plants recover faster. What they didn't know was that willow bark contains salicylic acid, the same active ingredient in aspirin. Smart farmers eventually figured out they could get the same effect by dissolving aspirin tablets in water. The standard recipe was 2 uncoated aspirin tablets dissolved in 1 gallon of water, sprayed on tomato plants every 3 weeks, starting when they were about a foot tall. This triggered the plant's natural immune responses, making them more resistant to bacterial and fungal diseases. Modern research has proven this works, but your great-grandfather was already using it when aspirin cost a nickel a bottle. The plants developed stronger resistance to blight, wilt, and other common tomato diseases without any harsh chemicals. Hack number 5. The milk spray fungus fighter. Dairy farmers discovered this one by accident when they noticed that tomato plants growing near where they cleaned milk equipment stayed healthier than plants elsewhere in the garden. Turns out that milk proteins create a natural antifungal coating on leaves that prevents spores from taking hold. The mixture is simple. 1 part milk to 9 parts water, sprayed on leaves early in the morning so they dry completely before evening. Whole milk works better than skim because the fat content helps the proteins stick to the leaf surface longer. This hack saved countless tomato crops during humid summers when fungal diseases could wipe out an entire garden in a week. Modern organic gardeners are rediscovering what dairy farmers knew decades ago. Sometimes the best solutions are sitting right in your refrigerator. Hack number 6, the crushed eggshell calcium delivery. Before calcium supplements were available, every farm kitchen saved eggshells for the garden. But here's the trick most people get wrong. You can't just throw whole eggshells around your plants and expect results. The old-timers crushed them into powder using a rolling pin or the flat side of a hammer. Crushed eggshells release calcium slowly as they break down, preventing blossom end rot, that black sunken spot that ruins perfectly good tomatoes. The key is getting them fine enough that they start decomposing immediately instead of sitting in the soil for months. Smart farmers would save eggshells all winter, crushing them and storing the powder in coffee cans. Come spring, they'd work a handful into the soil around each tomato transplant. Their tomatoes had perfect unblemished fruit, while neighbors dealt with calcium deficiency problems. Hack number 7, the companion planting pest control system. Old-time gardeners didn't have pesticides, so they developed companion planting systems that used one plant to protect another. The classic tomato combination was basil, marigolds, and nasturtiums, not because it looked pretty, but because it worked. Basil releases compounds that improve tomato flavor while repelling aphids and hornworms. Marigolds produce chemicals that kill nematodes in the soil and discourage whiteflies. Nasturtiums act as trap crops, attracting aphids and cucumber beetles away from the tomatoes. The spacing was specific. 1 basil plant for every 2 tomato plants. Marigolds planted in a border around the entire tomato patch, and nasturtiums scattered throughout as living mulch. This system reduced pest damage by 60 to 70% compared to tomatoes grown alone. Hack number 8, the coffee grounds acid boost. Before pH meters were common, farmers relied on visual cues to tell them when their soil was too alkaline for good tomato production. Yellow leaves, poor fruit set, and weak growth usually meant the soil needed acidifying. The solution was often as close as the morning coffee pot. Used coffee grounds slowly release acid into the soil while adding organic matter that improves drainage and water retention. The old-timers would collect grounds from local diners and cafes, working them into the soil around tomato plants throughout the growing season. The application rate was about 1 cup of grounds per plant per month, worked into the top few inches of soil. This kept the pH in the slightly acidic range that tomatoes prefer while feeding beneficial soil microorganisms that help plants absorb nutrients. Hack number 9, the newspaper mulch moisture saver. During the Depression, when every penny counted, farmers discovered that yesterday's newspaper made excellent mulch for tomato plants. They'd lay sheets of newspaper around each plant, overlap the edges to prevent weeds, then cover it with a thin layer of grass clippings or straw to keep it from blowing away. This system conserved moisture better than expensive mulches while suppressing weeds that competed with tomatoes for nutrients. As the newspaper decomposed, it added carbon to the soil and improved its structure. The key was using black and white pages only. Colored inks contained chemicals that could harm plants. Smart farmers would save newspapers all winter, then have enough free mulch to cover their entire tomato patch come spring. Hack number 10, the Epsom Salt Magnesium Fix. Long before soil testing was common, experienced growers learned to recognize magnesium deficiency in tomatoes, yellowing between the leaf veins while the veins themselves stayed green. The old-time cure was Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate that every farm household kept for both human and plant ailments. The standard treatment was 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt, dissolved in a gallon of water, applied to the soil around affected plants every 2 weeks. For severe deficiencies, they'd also spray a weaker solution directly on the leaves for faster absorption. This hack prevented the leaf yellowing and poor fruit development that plagued tomatoes grown in magnesium-poor soils. Modern gardeners spend big money on specialized fertilizers when a box of Epsom salt from the pharmacy does the job for a fraction of the cost. Hack number 11. The deep watering jug system. Before drip irrigation existed, smart farmers created their own deep watering systems using gallon milk jugs or coffee cans. They'd punch small holes in the bottom and sides, bury the container halfway between tomato plants, then fill it with water once or twice a week. This delivered water directly to the root zone, where plants could use it efficiently instead of wetting the surface where most of it evaporated. The slow release meant roots grew deep and strong, making plants more drought-resistant. The spacing was 1 jug for every 2 tomato plants, positioned so the water reached both root systems. This system used 50% less water than surface watering while producing healthier, more productive plants. Hack number 12. The wood ash potassium boost. Back when most homes heated with wood, the ash from the fireplace or wood stove found its way into the garden. Experienced gardeners knew that wood ash was rich in potassium, exactly what tomatoes need for strong fruit development and disease resistance. The application was light and careful, about 1 cup of ash per plant, worked into the soil in early spring before planting. Too much ash could make soil too alkaline, but the right amount provided slow-release potassium all season long. This hack was especially valuable during World War II when commercial fertilizers were scarce. Home gardeners who saved their wood ash had healthier, more productive tomato plants than those who didn't. Hack number 13. The aluminum foil aphid deterrent. Commercial growers in the 1950s discovered that strips of aluminum foil laid around tomato plants confused aphids and other flying pests. The reflected light disrupted their navigation systems, causing them to fly away instead of landing on the plants. The technique was simple. Lay strips of foil about 6 inches wide around each plant, securing the edges with soil or stones. The shiny surface reflected sunlight up onto the undersides of leaves, which also helped prevent fungal diseases that thrived in dark, humid conditions. This physical pest control method worked without chemicals and lasted all season with minimal maintenance. Modern gardeners are rediscovering this Depression-era trick as they look for alternatives to pesticides. Hack number 14. The Compost Tea Nutrient Boost. Before liquid fertilizers were widely available, farmers made their own plant food by steeping compost in water to create compost tea. This liquid fertilizer provided a balanced mix of nutrients that tomatoes could absorb immediately through their roots and leaves. The recipe was simple. Fill a burlap sack with finished compost, tie it shut, and suspend it in a barrel of water for a week. The resulting brown liquid was diluted 1-to-1 with water and applied to tomato plants every 2 weeks throughout the growing season. This homemade fertilizer cost nothing but time and provided nutrients in forms that plants could use immediately. The microorganisms in the tea also helped improve soil health and plant disease resistance. Hack number 15. The tomato cage succession planting. Smart farmers maximize their tomato harvest by planting new seedlings every 3 weeks throughout the growing season. They'd use the same cages and supports, removing spent plants and replacing them with fresh ones to ensure continuous production from early summer through first frost. The key was timing. Start the first plants indoors 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost. Then start new seedlings every 3 weeks until midsummer. This provided fresh, productive plants just as the earlier ones began declining. This system required more planning than planting everything at once, but it doubled or tripled the total harvest from the same garden space. Commercial growers still use this technique to ensure steady production for market. Hack number 16, the bone meal phosphorus foundation. Before synthetic fertilizers, farmers relied on bone meal from local slaughterhouses to provide the phosphorus that tomatoes need for strong root development and fruit production. They'd work a handful into each planting hole, creating a slow-release phosphorus source that lasted all season. The application rate was about 2 tablespoons per plant. mixed into the soil at the bottom of the planting hole. This put the phosphorus exactly where developing roots could access it, promoting strong early growth and better fruit set. Modern bone meal works the same way, providing organic phosphorus that won't burn plants or leach away in heavy rains. It's still one of the most effective ways to ensure strong tomato root systems. Hack number 17, the cardboard weed barrier. During the Depression, when money was tight, farmers used flattened cardboard boxes as weed barriers around tomato plants. The cardboard blocked light to prevent weed germination while slowly decomposing to add organic matter to the soil. The technique required overlapping pieces of cardboard around each plant, then covering them with a thin layer of grass clippings or straw to hold them in place and improve appearance. This system eliminated hand weeding while improving soil structure. As the cardboard broke down, it fed earthworms and beneficial microorganisms that improved soil health. This free weed control method worked better than expensive landscape fabric and actually benefited the soil instead of just covering it. Hack number 18, the fish emulsion nitrogen source. Coastal farmers discovered that fish scraps buried around tomato plants provided excellent slow-release nitrogen that promoted strong vegetative growth. They'd bury whole fish or fish parts about 6 inches deep and plant tomatoes above them. The decomposing fish released nitrogen, phosphorus, and trace minerals gradually throughout the growing season. The key was burying them deep enough to prevent odors and animal problems while ensuring the nutrients reached the root zone. This technique produced some of the most vigorous tomato plants anyone had ever seen, with dark green foliage and exceptional fruit production. Modern fish emulsion fertilizers work on the same principle, but without the burial requirements. Hack number 19, the plastic bottle greenhouse effect. Before row covers and season extenders were available, resourceful gardeners created mini greenhouses for individual tomato plants using clear plastic bottles. They'd cut the bottom off gallon milk jugs or 2-liter soda bottles and place them over young plants to protect them from cold and wind. This simple protection allowed farmers to plant tomatoes 2 to 3 weeks earlier than unprotected plants, extending the growing season and increasing total harvest. The bottles trapped heat during the day and released it slowly at night, moderating temperature swings. The key was removing the bottle caps to prevent overheating and gradually removing the bottles as plants outgrew them. This technique cost almost nothing but could add weeks to the productive season. Hack number 20, the pruning and training system. The most successful tomato growers developed specific pruning and training systems that maximized fruit production while keeping plants manageable. They'd remove suckers religiously, prune lower leaves that touched the ground, and train main stems to strong supports. The pruning schedule was weekly. Remove suckers when they were small, eliminate any leaves showing disease symptoms, and tie growing tips to supports before they could break in wind. This constant attention prevented problems before they became serious. This hands-on management approach required more time than letting plants grow wild, but it typically doubled fruit production while reducing disease problems. The plants put their energy into fruit instead of excess foliage. These 20 old-school hacks prove that the best gardening wisdom often comes from the past, not the latest trends. Your grandfather's techniques worked because they were based on decades of trial and error, refined by farmers who couldn't afford failures. Try just a few of these methods this season, and you'll understand why traditional farming knowledge is still the foundation of successful gardening today. Subscribe for more time-tested growing secrets, and check out the next video on your screen where I reveal the forgotten vegetable varieties that once fed America.